Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. 2026 is the year of mobile service, and here we have the mobile service leaders from our industry with us at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Troy Blackwell from Spiffy, EVP, Automotive Business Development, setting the world on fire with two great retailers, Nolan Armpriester and Richard Lupo. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Ted.
Yeah, thanks, Ted.
Following all of you on social media, all the things you're working on. Congratulations, Nolan. Congratulations, Richard. You got a lot on the go this year. Troy, you have a lot happening. Before we get rolling, Troy, I want to, we're at the end of the month now, and next week, a lot of folks are going out to Las Vegas for the big NADA show. Are we going to see you and Spiffy there?
Oh, absolutely. We're super excited. This is an event we look forward to every year to see some familiar faces, people that we started to work with. Two very familiar faces on this call with us today. Two guys that I've been working with for over a year now. And we are super excited to have them join the Spiffy platform officially. So you heard it here, but very, very excited about these two guys on the call today.
All right. Well, everybody, congratulations, and you're working with the best. And tell us a little bit more about your 2026 strategy. I know we're about a month into the year now, but maybe if Troy, if you could kind of set the stage for us, and then Richard, if you would kind of tell us what you're working on, because a lot of people are really interested in Richard and what you got going on, because the manufacturers you represent, and Nolan, bring us up to speed on what you are working on. But first, Troy, set the stage if you don't mind.
Yeah, and I think you've heard me say this before. This is still a relatively small community, but what I can tell you is that we have seen this really grow and take off. And it's no surprise that the customers are there. The customers are asking for this. So it is absolutely the future. And so what comes with that is we work with great partners like these two guys, and we don't have all the answers with our software. We sit down and say to the operators, what is some things that can help us be even better? So what I'm very excited about at NADA will be an announcement of a new feature set of our software that's getting a lot of attention, a lot of attraction. I can't let it all out right here. So stay tuned with that. A little teaser, Ted. We'll be on stage with you, and we'll talk a lot more about that while we're there. But what I'm excited about for the year is taking on new partners as we continue to get the software out. And what we're trying to do is just make it easy and simple for the operators every day, but simple for the customers to come in and schedule these mobile appointments.
I love where mobile is headed. Richard, as I mentioned, congratulations. Tell us what you're working on, because you are leading the pack down there.
But thanks, Ted. Thanks, Troy. What we're working on in 2026 is growing. We spent most of 2025 setting the table to grow. And so we're going to grow in unique VINs and repair order count over 2026. And one of the major pieces of that strategy is incorporating mobile into the fixed operations of AppleTree, Honda, and Acura. I've been working with Troy, and we have been in partner with some the other companies that we're going to have some announcements at NADA. Everybody's going to be ready for the Super Bowl, and NADA is our Super Bowl, and we're going to get out there and make some really significant announcements about some partnerships that are coming up. They're going to make mobile service even more relevant and easier for us to schedule and get connected with customers. So that's what's going on at AppleTree in 2026.
That speaks volumes, Richard. Also, the fact that you're not waiting. A lot of times, folks wait for their manufacturer to come up with an official mobile program. We know that certain manufacturers have more than others. I don't know too many Honda and Acura dealers that have big mobile programs. But Richard, you're not sitting on the sidelines. You're out in front and you're leading on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be the first, but we're going to be among the very first Honda and Acura dedicated mobile services providers. We are going on it independently, and hopefully it'll bear fruit and help bring Honda along and Acura along to bring in some factory support along the way.
Yeah, you know it will. Nolan, tell us what's happening in your part of the world?
Similar to Richard, 2026, we're going to focus on continuing to expand. Obviously, retail is going to play a big part on the dealer side, but the commercial and fleet portion of mobile is what continues to drive our operations. And Troy and his team have done some great things for our company that is empowering to our fleet customers, allowing them to book their own appointments into our scheduler, giving them access to the software themselves. There's so much opportunity that we don't want to limit anything on the commercial side. So we're going to continue to focus on expanding our operations, but really being more of a partner to our customers than anything else, and allowing them to have the power to control the services that they need and when they need them.
Nolan, you've been in this mobile business now for quite a long time, particularly on the commercial side, but also on the consumer side. Let me ask you, how are customer expectations for convenience? Because this is all about convenience. How are they changing?
Well, I mean, I think as our demographic continues to get younger and younger, that demand's there, and customers want convenience. I hate to, in any way put down a dealership, but customers don't want to come sit for an hour in the waiting area. They want to sit in their living room, right? Watch TV, get their vehicle serviced,
Yeah.
and I just think you're going to see the industry continue to go that way. And look, we all know the CSI benefits and the survey benefits that come with mobile service. It's almost impossible to get a bad survey as long as you're doing right by the customer. So I think the retail side will continue to grow. And unfortunately, I do think you'll see brick and mortar shrink a little bit as the years go on. I think you'll see heavy repairs and major repairs done in brick and mortar, but I think you'll see maintenance and routine services done in driveways from here on out.
Richard Lupo down in Asheville, what are you seeing in terms of customer expectations for your clients? Is the convenience factor a big factor?
Well, 100%. It is convenience. We have to give credit where it's due. We leaned on Ed Roberts, our friend, a lot, especially as we're getting started. And he talks about winning driveways, and certainly part of our strategy for growth in 2026.
Okay.
And also makes the great point, as Nolan said, we have a great facility here at Apple Tree. I mean, the nicest leather couches and the nicest shiny floors and great bathrooms and amenities. But if you don't have to get in your car and drive to the dealership and stand in line and sit down and do that, even if it's a great place and we got great professionals serving you, all that stuff, if you don't have to do it, probably not going to do it. And so meeting the customer where they want to be met is key to unlocking the next level of growth.
So, Troy, over at Spiffy, I see your role, part of your role, I think, is helping these dealer partners deliver that convenience. And you're doing that by helping them with things like software and some of the other solutions you provide. Troy, speak to that because I know now that you brought on these new partners, they're also going to be introducing some new software through you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nolan hit on it a little bit earlier. Richard has certainly seen some of the features that we have, but
Okay.
to kind of go back to the dealership world, the dealerships haven't done anything wrong. They have great facilities and historically have wanted the customers to come to those locations. But when you go back to the word convenience, you think about it, in some cases, they may only be 25 miles away, 30 miles away, and the dealership's done nothing wrong. It's just the customer's head is like, I'm just going to go to the Pet Boys or somewhere that might be close. Now, dealers may not want to hear that, but that is a reality. And some of our best customers that we have are at 70% retention, which is incredible. They're getting those customers back into their ecosystem. And it's simply by just offering a mobile solution. We'll come to you. We'll come to your house. And if you can do any of these jobs without a lift, think of that. I mean, Nolan's built an incredible operation that doesn't necessarily bring the customer down to have to put the car on a lift. And he does so much stuff out on the road. Kind of going back to some earlier things that we talked about with newer features. We sat down and listened to Nolan's team and they said, what are your frustrations? What do you wish you had? And they said, yeah, one of my customers, and I hate to say that they had to fax an Excel spreadsheet, but just think of that. They have to go into an Excel spreadsheet, look at all the VINs of their fleets that they may have, and do a lot of data entry and manual things. And if our software can alleviate that, it just freed up. We heard directly, not only from his team, but from his customer that said, oh, this is going to save me so much time. So
Yeah.
those are the things that we do at Spiffy, that we sit down and really listen to our dealership partners, the customers, what are they looking for, and what can the software do to help streamline and make it easier for them. So that's really where I'm at, and that's where I spend a majority of my time. Listen,
Okay.
it's less selling, Ted. It's more educating and
Yeah.
partnering and finding, great people like Nolan and Richard, and seeing what we need to do to continue to improve the technology.
Nolan, for your peers, for the dealers watching today, who may be asking this question, how do I measure success in mobile? And I come to you again because of the long years of experience. Is it in CSI? Is it in retention? Is it in revenue? Is it in something else, or all of the above?
I think it's all the above. And I think, Troy nailed it. Well, what other area can you hold such a high retention rate? I mean, a customer, if they use you once for mobile, they're going to continue to use you. And that it speaks volumes. And we've always had traditionally a very high retention rate at our stores, but it doesn't compare to mobile. And neither does our CSI. And I'm not putting down our brick and mortar fixed operations. They have great service and they take care of customers. But I mean, I think I've said it like a year ago that you have to try to get a bad survey. It's almost impossible to get a bad survey with mobile service, and it just speaks to that convenience and the ease of transaction with the customer. And I think that's why mobile is so powerful. And it's not going away, and everybody needs to get on board now. And that's the facts of it.
I was in a dealership recently that does not do mobile service, Nolan, and I walked through their waiting room at peak time. And of course, a lot of people sitting and waiting. And I said to myself, isn't this old school, right?
Right.
Compared to what is now and what the future is going to look like. Nolan, you said it best a while back. The future is outside the four walls of the dealership.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, I even saw a meme, a couple months ago that says our coffee's great, but your living room's better, right? So nobody wants to be here. They want to be at home, and we just need to serve those people. And it's not only the retail. I do preach that commercial is where the true opportunity is to grow and expand, but we can't forget about our customer base and taking care of them as well.
Richard, you got a big staff. You got two young dealers who are the brothers. I had a chance to meet them when we were down at the Apple Tree. How are you guys going to measure success? Same question I gave to Nolan: CSI, uh, retention, revenue, or something else?
Well, definitely CSI, growing our base, and that's one of the things that we're talking about. People hold on to Hondas for a long time, and with the market conditions that have been around for the last several years, um, we're so deep into the trade cycle where these cars that are coming through with 60, 70, 80,000 miles on average right now. I think our average car is 70 couple thousand miles. Now, we're in unheard of territory on the service side where your average vehicle's got 75,000 miles on it. And the customer is 5, 6 years, 7 years of holding their vehicle. And if we've got a customer that's buying cars from us but not servicing from us, if we can reestablish that because they're 30 miles away from the dealership, we're going to be able to maintain that relationship through service, and hopefully dealer and brand loyalty will follow when it's time to trade, and purchase that next vehicle. So that's another part of way that we're measuring success, is to reconnect in some cases or continue to retain customers that are in our outlying areas to improve brand and dealer loyalty when it's time to finally get rid of that car that is going to need, significant repairs as they're coming up on 80, 100,000 miles.
Troy, Spiffy works with some of the best dealers in the nation. Again, also deep experience in this. What are you seeing out there in the market with the dealers you're working with right now? What are their biggest operational challenges for dealers like Richard and for Nolan? Is it the people, the staffing? Is it scheduling? Is it logistics? What are you seeing?
I just think it's a little bit of history, Ted. I think that historically, what happens I'm fortunate where I had spent a bulk of my career from the retail side. So I've seen it on both
Yeah.
sides of the table, right? So I remember lots of people coming and showing something new, flashy device or software that might help you, right? And unfortunately, in a dealer world, you may only use 10% of it, or it may be so overly complicated that it just kind of gets shelved. And so I think what's been great is, one, we want to make sure that the associates that are using the software are trained. Two, kind of going to an example with Richard, we sat down and said, what tools are you using today? And he'll say, well, look at how my customer comes in to us. How do they start their shopping journey, whether it's on the variable side or on the fixed side? And they partnered up with Blink AI, right? So we'll go to NADA and we'll walk the floor, guys, and we'll see all these AI companies,
Yes, we
right? That
will.
are trying to say, hey, here's some things that are going to help you. But I like to see it really practical, right? I like to sit down with the operators like Nolan and Richard and say, how does a customer's journey begin? And then Richard showed me some things that Blink AI was doing, and that prompted another call, right? So we partnered up with Dave Perry and Blink AI to look and see what we could do with them. So kind of stay tuned on that. And then he also uses urban science, which has a lot of data. And which was really cool is he showed us all this data that was beyond just his real close PMA that he has, and maybe customers that he lost over time. And so it really helps us from a strategic standpoint. And then I'll summarize it by saying we like to sit down with not only the fixed operations director, service manager, but the GM and even principal, and to sit down and say, what is your strategic vision? And maybe on the variable side, they want to do an acquisition play. Maybe they want to buy
Okay.
more cars. Well, to Richard's point, not only the one that they're fixing, and you've heard me say this before, Ted, they have a secondary car in the driveway.
Yeah,
So
of
if you
course.
really want to get aggressive, you might be able to even then go
Yeah.
appraise that car. So I just think, in just kind of in a summary standpoint, there's so much opportunity that can be done. And yes, it's new, and it can be new for others, and that sometimes scares people. But I think what we're
That's
here to do is help consult and advise in addition to putting the software in their hands.
that second car, you're right, Troy. We talked about that when I saw you in Detroit, in December last month, and, yeah, even the trade acquisition on that. Troy, that Richard, Troy's always on the cutting edge, right? This could
Yeah.
be the next biggest things on mobile.
Well, fortunately for me in my career, I started with a fantastic company with CarMax. And, when we
Yeah,
opened up, it was very early on.
okay.
And it was, their big strategic play was to acquire cars, whether you buy a car from them or not. And so, again, I know that as they opened up locations and yet Carvana, and how can we help the dealerships win some of those trades? And a lot of it is just, having access to them and providing them great value. And here's what we can do to win that trade.
Richard, a lot of dealers like yourself are gonna be in Las Vegas next week walking around, and, Troy mentioned the buzzword AI. We're gonna hear that all week long. Um, uh, Richard, where does AI, how is that gonna make an impact? What are you seeing? What do you see in your crystal ball?
In the near term, what it's doing, it's not replacing people's job. It's a tool to leverage. For instance, if you're making appointments,
Okay.
if you've got a competent AI agent, they can make an
Yes.
oil change appointment, right? And that frees up our BDC to talk and have longer conversations with customers that have more complex issues that need to speak to a human. So it takes the easy stuff, knocks it out of the way, gives our existing BDC staff time to spend with the customers that really need that attention. And so those are the kinds of things that if you're good at taking care of your business, this is just a great tool in your tool belt to help service your customers, bring up efficiencies, and it lands on the bottom line eventually.
Yeah. And Nolan, coming back to your vast mobile background, how do you balance things like shop utilization, with having people out in the field. What are some of the things that you look at that we may not be thinking about off the top of our heads, but you've already experienced?
I think mobile is the ultimate assist for shop utilization, because
Okay.
you're going to find once you branch out that there's so much work on the road that what you start doing is you're pushing it to your brick and mortar. That is our biggest challenge, is getting all the work done. To be honest with you right now, and to Richard's point, AI, I like to use AI in a lot of our areas, and I do believe that he hit the nail on the head. It's not here to replace anybody's job, but it will replace the people's jobs that don't learn to utilize AI. Right? I mean, that's you have to learn to adapt it and bring it into what you're doing each day. But yeah, I mean, I think that mobile service really is going to start opening up and helping fill the brick and mortars that may not be filled up capacity wise right now. A lot of people get into mobile to alleviate shop capacity and help with that, but we were quite the opposite. It's been flowing to our shops and keeping everybody busy. So um, mobile is definitely everywhere as long as you look for it.
Troy, for the folks watching this at home and from their dealerships, what do you see as the biggest growth opportunity in fixed ops this year? Here we are a month into 2026 already, but what are you seeing?
Well, that's kind of a layup for me, Ted. That's of course I'm going to sit here and say it's mobile.
Yeah.
Listen, but I do feel for those guys. I know when variable gets soft, everybody looks at fixed to save the day,
Yeah.
and that has been historical. And I think that we just need to look at our internal processes and see what we can do to help. Now, each dealership's going to have a different strategy. Where Nolan's really heavy on the fleet side, I may have a dealership like in Ed Roberts at Bozard was really a capacity, and then they really wanted to go after that customer. But you have fleet, you have recall, and you have the B2C side of this. So what we'll do is we'll tailor it to whatever that customer is looking for to help them grow that side of the business. But I think the other metric is the retention and the CSI piece of that. And if we can help get some of those lost customers back, that's going to help them down the long run. So that's what we're excited about.
Richard, we've talked about this before, but if you look back at our industry, let's say it's 3, 4 years from now, and look back at 2026, first of all, what will that service department in, let's say, 2029 or 2030 look like? And what are we going to look back and say, what did I wish I knew or did in 2026 that I didn't do?
I think that if we look 3 or 4 years out,
Yeah.
one of the things that's going to change is we're going to not be as retail focused. Um, I envision a scenario where a car is full self driving, and after
Hmm.
I've been at work all day, I'm sitting at the dinner table. My car will start up and drive itself to the service department, get serviced, and it'll be in my driveway when I wake up, or a rental car will be there waiting for me to sign an agreement, and you'll get a key to start it from your phone. And so we're going to have to be open 24/7. It's going to be a lot less people sitting on couches and a lot of people cars showing up without the driver. And you're gonna have to pivot and be less retail 9 to 5. Not that we're our 9 to 5, but I think that that's the one thing. And then the next thing is for the owners, the EMs, GMs looking at mobile. It's not just a fixed operations tool. And there's F&I product that's available to sell mobile. And then there's also a technician that's going to be doing an in-depth video multi-point inspection in that driveway. And there
Yes.
is no way that you cannot, there's no reason that you cannot roll that into a trade appraisal on the spot on that vehicle.
Nolan, we talked about that recently also, not just video, but pictures as well, right? On the mobile.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's video obviously is best, but pictures just as good too. And there's the old saying that sales sells the first vehicle, but service sells every vehicle after that, right? And that is what mobile is going to continue to do. Is the customers that do business with us on the road are going to come back to the store and buy, whether it's commercial or retail. And that is really going to be the driving factor moving forward to retaining sales, I believe. Better than price points is the service that we give the customer.
Nolan, what's the biggest growth opportunity for this year in 2026?
I
And
mean, I
I'm
don't.
thinking back to when you first contacted me, and
Yeah.
I didn't quite know who you were, and we did a little fact checking. We said, "Oh yeah, this guy really knows mobile."
I think it's the same for me anyway. It's always commercial, but again, I think it's just offering convenience to the customer, whatever that may be, whatever service they may need. Trying to adopt the mindset of never saying no, always finding a solution for the customer's problem. I think that's very powerful, and I think it's something that a lot of dealerships lack. We've gotten good over the years at making customers do business on our terms. I think it's time to just change that up a bit.
Troy, at Spiffy, you're helping dealers with their 2026 strategy, getting into mobile. You're introducing software to the gentlemen who are here on the screen. You mentioned an integration or two along the way. I heard Blink AI, a great partner here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable as well. Troy, you've also got NADA coming up next week. Troy, you're the only person I've met so far that's got two booth numbers scrolling at the bottom. Tell us what's happening there for the dealers coming to NADA because we want them to come see you.
Yeah, we're actually very fortunate that we've established a great partnership with Hyundai over the last 6 to 8 months,
Okay.
working strategically with them in a handful of locations to get and spin up mobile service. So, with that, we will have a van at the Hyundai booth this year. You'll see it there at the
Wow.
bottom.
An actual van in the
Yeah,
booth. Wow.
actual van. We'll have two vans. We'll have one there at their booth, and then we'll have one at ours. So we're very excited to show off our
Wow.
latest and greatest van upfits that are helping the dealership. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to see us at either location. We'll have a staff. We have to divide and conquer, but we'll have a staff there at Hyundai, and we'll have a staff at our booth as well.
And Troy, Sarah, and I will both be at NADA. We look forward to meeting with you at the booth and also interviewing you on the stage. And Nolan, same, and Richard, and finding out more about your retail plans for 2026 and getting into all that. Troy, for the folks who are not coming to NADA, what's the best way for them to learn more about Spiffy?
Yeah, I know. I'm one of those crazy guys that gives out my cell phone, but I'm in sales too. So, yeah, they can contact me anytime on my cell, which you don't have at the bottom, but it's 949-212-7552. So my wife will appreciate that in a car when that phone rings. So, but guys, I really appreciate you joining the call today. You've been fantastic customers for us. Continue to help us build the software and taking it kind of to the next level. So, Ted, always appreciate the stage with you. Been a great partner.
You guys are fantastic, and looking forward to lots to come. Nolan, if you would give us the name of the new dealership. I know you're in Hamburg.
It's going to be Twin Pine of Hamburg. Looking forward to having that open within a couple weeks here. Hopefully, we have service open on Monday. So
All right,
we're
love it.
excited to do big
Twin
things
Pine.
and excited to expand mobile, continue to work with Troy and the team, and new
Nolan,
beginnings. So
Nolan, you're a great partner as well. Congratulations too.
thank you so much.
Richard Lupo, Apple Tree Honda and Acura. You're always on to the bigger and better. So, Richard, congratulations and exciting times for you.
Thank you, Ted.
All right. Everybody, Troy Blackwell with Spiffy. He's the EVP. You can meet him in person next week if you're going to Las Vegas at the NADA show. Troy will be there. They have a booth for Spiffy. They'll also be in the Hyundai booth, mobile vans in both, and we'll also see him with the Fixed Ops Roundtable in the West Hall. So congratulations to everyone, and thank you for all you do for the industry. Everybody, Troy Blackwell with the A-List team here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.